Yeah, no, that's a good way to put it, where it's like, oh, the animations look bad, or the art is not polished, or maybe you're missing sound effects. Like, yeah, I know. This is a mechanic like demo. We're not
Yeah.
focusing on that right now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, or you'll show a video of like an enemy that doesn't have sound effects yet, and they'll
Mhm,
be like, "Where are the sound?" Like, I haven't done that yet. I'm
mhm.
sorry. Like, I just want to share the process with you and try to get people invested. And that means you have to share videos of work in progress stuff.
Mhm.
I think maybe one way around that is to make videos that somehow communicate that more clearly, whether it's like a voiceover that sort of explains the process.
Mhm.
Then people start to see of it less like marketing and more like a devlog or something like that.
Mm, mm.
But even still, they sometimes there's just really like premature advice,
Yeah, devlogs
that
are
they
something I've
give.
I've been seeing a lot more of recently. I think
Mhm.
as devs have realized that some people have had these sort of breakout successes because they've had a channel that's popped off or a couple of videos that have done really well. I like the idea that people are showing more of the process, because I
Mhm.
think it also helps people want to get interested in making a game. Because you
Yeah.
see a game, let's pick any game. Take a game like Hades, right? You look at it and it looks really polished and really incredible. But I think anybody who like has worked on a game can tell you, a month into that project, everything was a placeholder. Maybe they were
Gray
using assets
boxes
from the
everywhere.
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
they were using assets from the previous game because it is still a Hades
Mm.
game, but it it will look nothing like. Actually, even playing the Hades early access, there was placeholder art all over the place. A lot of the
Mm.
characters just were using the same basic like hooded figure because they just hadn't done the art yet. And
Yeah.
I think letting people see that really early point is
Mm.
like really really good. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there is a post from I think 6 or so years ago where Sandfall Interactive, the devs of Expedition 33, they were looking for voice actors and they'd posted a trailer to Reddit, and
Right.
it looked nothing like it does now.
Yeah.
At the time, it was a steampunk style game. Um,
Mm.
they had a TTS voiceover in the trailer because they just didn't have a voice actor for
Mm.
Gustav yet. And it was like super early Unity stuff. I think they still had some of the basic sorry, Unreal, not Unity. I think they were still using the Unreal robot for some NPCs around the place. And I think seeing a game that comes out that looks this amazing, that some people are saying game of the year possibly, but seeing it
Mm.
at that early stage, it shows you that you can make a game. You probably can't make Expedition 33. You probably don't have the
No.
time or the money to do that. But you can see how the game started at something that was way simpler than it is at like when it releases.
Mm.
And things progress over time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's good to help players conceptualize that
Mhm.
information. And indie devs in particular, we need a bit of that grace. So it's a good idea to communicate that and show the process so that people understand
Mm-hmm.
that it is a process and that everything takes time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe it would help gamers appreciate games a little bit more. Sometimes I feel like, I love games and I love making games, but gaming culture kind of annoys me sometimes
Mm-hmm.
because I think that gamers can be quite entitled.
Mm-hmm.
And they just like, I guess don't value the process that goes into it sometimes. So that annoys me. But yeah, I just getting them to understand that the process is probably a good thing,
Mm-hmm.
communicating that, being transparent. And it helps to as a result of doing things like that, you do end up getting a sort of core audience that's invested in not just the game that you're making at the time, but in your journey as a developer. And, I've been lucky enough to have that happen for me. Like people who play tested Spring Dash early on are still around. They're still play testing my games. They're still on my Discord server. Some of them are close friends of mine now. So, and that only happens because you share progress early.
Mm-hmm. And I think it also hopefully encourages more people to, if they have an idea, to actually go and try it.
Yeah.
You may not make the game of your dream, and you may not be able to do something you wanted to do with it, but I do think it's worth, if you have an idea, you can try to make
Mm.
that. Like,
Yeah.
it's not impossible.
Yeah, I do. You can 100% do it. And I particularly try to encourage people who have negative things to say to try
Mm.
making a game. Because it's like not from like a, oh, you do it then kind of perspective, but from a
Sure.
like genuine like, okay, well, if you have an idea that you think is truly original and unique, then I think you should commit some time to trying to build it, because
Mhm.
at the very least you'll understand the process. And no nobody who comments things like that has actually built a game. Like I've never seen a game developer actually comment something like that
Mhm.
on someone else's video, because they know what the process is like,
Mhm.
and they know that even for games that they've built that were successful, they received that hatred in the past.
Mhm.
So I think game developers in particular, it's like this weird thing where the fans of the game care more about like potential copies. They're like more militant about defending, oh, nobody can copy Ultra Kill. It's like the best, boomer shooter ever. And if you do something blood related, you're copying it, and that's just like tainting Ultra Kill. But then the publisher of Ultra Kill sees Blood Vial and is like, cool, cool, man, good game.
Mhm. Mhm.
Or the developers of the games, sometimes that people say that I'm copying, they're always like, oh, looks sick, man. And I've had people actually message me and go, do you mind if I like build something that's inspired by this? And I go, yes, do it, go on. Like I don't care.
Mhm.
If you can execute on it, it would be a privilege to see my idea be executed by someone else, as long as
Mhm.
you're
Mhm.
not like blatantly copying every single aspect. Like put your own little twist on it.
Mhm.
But I mean, go on. Like I think people should try to create things more often.
Mhm.
Too often people just have ideas and they have criticisms and stuff, but they don't actually spend the time to try to build something. At least try it. Maybe
Mhm.
you'll like it. Maybe you'll be successful.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Exactly that. Yeah. If you've if you've got an idea, just, it doesn't even have to be something you follow to the end. Like, if
Hmm.
you can try it out. If you like game development, stick with it. If you don't, then don't. Like, just try out a new thing, and if it is something you vibe with, like, I don't know. I think people can feel intimidated by it. They can feel like,
Mm.
again, like what I was saying, where you see a completed project and you don't know how you go from a gray cube to a fully completed game.
Yeah. Yeah, it is scary. Like looking at the empty Unity scene or the empty Godot scene, and you're like, oh, it's it's so bland.
Mm.
um but just seeing that process and like seeing the progress, and also I think um taking the time to record old versions of your game and look back at it can be hugely
Mm.
motivating. I sometimes look back at very early Blood Vial footage, and I'm like, man, it's so night and day, the way that it looks. Like I started out with just like cylinder enemies, just the same texture applied to all surfaces, and like the first person arms were just like, assets that I'd found. The hand was like doing this, it was like all spread out, and the vial was just like floating on top of it. It's just like getting that concept out, and then seeing the progression and comparing the two. It's just probably one of the most like satisfying things as someone who builds games to see that.